in that first half, tactically, the way they just dropped off, controlled the game, and then went at the right moments. Yeah, they do look strong, the Netherlands.
Well, we've got loads of time to kind of really drill down into this game. We're going to go right back to the first half, to the first goal, which was a thing of beauty, Alex. And, you know, it was a kind of exposition of total football.
Yeah, sometimes you have the ball in possession, but you're kind of passing without penetration. But what we saw from the build-up play was they're passing it around nicely, first of all, when they get the ball, and they're waiting for the opportunity. So it's like, we keep moving the ball and we move USA into positions, then we know we can hurt them. And actually it's done it, we're speeding it up now, but they're controlling it and controlling it. They all of a sudden, they change the tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what good teams do. You know, they know exactly when then to accelerate and when to play the passes sharper and go from 1-2 touches into just one touch. You know, and this is just a pure quality. It's quality of your players, and they see exactly the moment when they have to pass and where to have to pass it. And this is just a beautiful goal.
You've had another look at it from a defensive point of view from the US.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they couldn't hold heads up high, the USA, but they were a little bit naive today. The way they pressed, out of position, and then, you know, you can't really question their willingness to get back, but it's just that split second where you switch off, you don't cover the gap, and unfortunately Adams, you know, couldn't get close enough to Depay here, but it was a beautiful goal from a Netherlands point of view, and yeah, they did look sharp in that first half.
Yeah, and to be honest, they kind of just really contained and looked like they were happy to go in with 1-0 because they weren't bothered about having possession, were they? And then they ended up getting a second, obviously, just before half-time, but not before the fans in Eindhoven had a chance to throw their beers in the air and celebrate that one. But the second goal was just a real... It must have felt for the US like a sucker punch because they managed to keep it down to 1-0. And even though they'd had possession and not been able to create very much, that was the point where they're about to go in and kind of reassess. And then that second goal, Jurgen, just kind of...
Yeah, and it almost felt like they sniffed it, you know, because the US actually was pressuring well the end of the first half. They were kind of getting closer, and that's when they take the moment and say, okay, you know, we're going to send us another signal, another message out there. Yeah. And it's just pure focus and concentration and precise, exactly knowing what they're doing, exactly. Daley Blind knew exactly the ball will come there, so I'm waiting, and then I go in front of my opponent there, and then I have a yard of space, and just, I mean, this is just instinct and precision, and just huge compliment.
What was good about that, though, is their patience. If you looked earlier on, there was deep, but in that moment there, I know they had to throw it up far, but it was the way they boxed the USA in, didn't let them out, and then the pass across was just excellent for a nice finish.
And the Netherlands were very happy to let the US have the ball because they weren't in any dangerous areas. They couldn't get that supply line to Pulisic, could they? And we had a really good look at the kind of the tactics they employed, which really in the first half is what has got them the victory overall.
Yeah, it's how you can control a game without having the ball, but you know what you're doing. It's a game plan. And what they did is like, OK, we know you want to play a high pressure, high energy kind of game, and we're just going to drop off and not allow you to do that. You're going to have to try and figure it out, which they didn't. And this is a clear example of everyone working together to close off passing lines so you don't get it to your danger players. Then it's like the what next. But it's everyone knowing their job, setting traps, and then winning a ball back, Micah.
Yeah, I just think it was excellent tactical play because we highlighted the free midfield for US before the game, but they almost strangled them in that middle of the field. They didn't know what to do. It was like, get the ball out wide, can we get across in the box? But the key players for the USA couldn't get involved in the game today. And I just thought that was brilliant from the Netherlands today in just knowing what there was coming, obviously planned for the game, knew what their strengths were, and nullified that.
Sorry, go on.
On that, when we're showing those clips as well, and when we're talking about dropping off, it's not having a deep line. What you're doing, you're still condensing the spaces and making it hard to be played through also.
What does it feel like as a manager when you're there in your technical area and your tactics are kind of being played out beautifully by your team?
Yeah.
And your orchestra are playing every note how you ask them to?
No, then you're getting challenged. You're getting challenged in terms of what's my plan B, what's my plan C, you know. And in the moment when, you know, the Dutch dropped and they kind of, we're so compact in the middle, you got to come over the wings. But coming over the wings against the back five means you have to double the size. So you have to have a left midfielder going and maybe outplay their outside position. And you got to come up with other strategies. Unfortunately, the US don't have the player material to do that. Then you need also the players are capable. Then I was hoping a bit Timothy Weah with his speed going at Daley Blind, because he gets then didn't do it at all. But also because of the fact that they dropped it, there was no really space running behind Daley Blind, and all those kind of elements that you think through it before the game said, you cross-check them off and said, no, this is not working. This is not working. And this is the experience of that Dutch side. It's really the experience, and they knew that the real danger from the US is Christian Pulisic. And other than it's maybe here and there they get a goal from another player, but the key in the US game is Christian, and they completely shut him down. They shut him down by not allowing him to get actually any deliveries.
And of course, he was involved in the goal the US managed to achieve, which did give us some jeopardy, didn't it? For about 10 minutes.
It came out of nothing.
It's one of the best goal we've ever seen, or the luckiest goal we've ever seen. You see right here in the centre. I'm definitely going to luckiest goal. I don't know about you, but it gets into a good position. He was starved at times of the ball, but the way he runs in there, and then I think that's a bad touch, to be honest. I don't know what
I think Twitter's divided. I've seen some people saying it's the greatest thing they've ever seen.
We've got to give it to the US, though. Yeah, they've come here, having a good time.
They came back into the game, no matter how. It's in, it's 2-1, we got a game.
Yeah, the more you see it, the more implausible it feels.
Let's give it to it's his goal anyway. It was going on target, so let's just call it an insane piece of skill.
Hadji Wright was the player that Dortmund went to have a look at when they actually signed Pulisic. So he was in a sliding doors moment in his life there. There you go. In Kansas, the fans are just thinking, like we did, thinking, hang on, this is game on here, 2-1 with 15, 20 minutes to go. We can perhaps see some...
we're singing USA.
Some kind of comeback.
We were both singing USA, Alex.
But it wasn't to be, because your main man, you've been purring about him all afternoon. Go on,
Denzel Dumfries. I mean, what a player he is. I mean,
Denzel named after Denzel Washington. By the
really?
way. Yes.
Interesting. I just thought his whole game was brilliant. We start here with the assist, and it was his timing of his runs. Me and Al's have played in that position, and he didn't sort of mix it up too much, but when he did, it was the right moments. And down this right-hand side, it was breathless. This is a clip that I like the most, so, because there's nothing there, but he wants to get into this little bit of space here, just to create something for his teammates, and then get the ball across. Lovely. On another day, it's another goal. And his defensive work coming here, poor mistake there. You think Wright's going to put it away? Who's there to clear it off the line? I mean, it was a 5-star performance, and he capped it all off. I don't know what the USA defence are doing here, but he's just at the back post, all alone. Has he got the composure to finish? Of course he has. Wing back to wing back, and it's a lovely finish.
Why did he have so much space, Alex? Right how was he left there on his own, though?
Yeah, when you're looking across that, especially because USA just got themselves back into a game, and then you switch off, and that's the difference at the top level. And you switch off for a minute, and then the game is completely gone.
OK, let's get some reaction from the US camp now. Their head coach, Greg Berhalter.
Yeah, this is a difficult one to handle. It's such a good group of guys, such a close group of guys, and we came up short today, but not for the lack of trying, not for the lack of effort. I think the guys poured everything they had into this game, and unfortunately, we lost it.
Obviously, plenty of emotion on the pitch. I saw you hugging so many of these guys. How proud are you of what they've done throughout this World Cup?
Really proud. I mean, when you think about this group, how they've come together over the last 3.5 years, it's really special to see. You don't often get a bond like that between the teammates and the staff and everyone. So really proud of this group, but bitterly disappointed in the result tonight.
I know how much you wanted to show the world what U.S. soccer was capable of doing. What did you prove about the potential of U.S. soccer moving forward?
I think we made some progress. I think when people look at our team, they see a clear identity. They see guys that go out and fight for each other. They see talent on the field. So we made progress, but in this particular on this particular night, we came up short.
Thank you, Greg.
Well, they did have chances, didn't they, Alex? They were, you know, not just obviously the goal there. The interestingly divided over whether it was technique or fluke goal. But they had opportunities, and Pulisic in the first half will look back within the first few minutes of the game and rue that.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he's thinking if he was offside and he just snatched at it, but this could have actually changed the game if this would have gone in and started like on the front foot like they were. But you see him moving back in, recycling his run and looking around. It was actually the left back that played him on there. But he just needs to connect better and do that. But it could have been completely different.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really, go forward with that much conviction. If we're being totally honest, you see we're here having a shot, but it's from outside the box again, clustered in the middle of the pitch. Ream, I expected to score there. I mean, I know he's a defender, but he's got to put that in the back of the net. And Musa, who I actually thought had a brilliant game today again, worked so hard for his team, goes on to McKennie there in the midfield. And this is what we thought we'd see more in the game, breaking the lines a little bit more, comes back into the centre of the pitch. And it's just, it's a half chance really, for being honest, the defender there going towards the ball. But wasn't meant to be for the USMNT.
That sums it up as well, because if you look at it, they actually had more shots on target than the Netherlands, and it just shows where they're lacking in that area where they maybe need to.
Which we've seen in all of their games, actually.
Yeah,
go
there's
right
a
back
lack
to the Wales
of
game.
attacking options for Greg Berhalter, the coach, and they went in this tournament knowing that we don't really have a number 9 of international caliber. And it all relies on Christian Pulisic, and then obviously in the talent, Giovanni Reina came in. He's one for the future, but not there yet. So there's not enough attacking kind of substance right now there. But they're gonna grow. They're gonna go and get better and better. They are all placed in good clubs. They're gonna learn, and they're gonna plan towards 2026.
Yeah, this 4 years is so important, isn't it, for them and for the country to have a team that they can really put their kind of faith behind, because it's a big World Cup for them. You feel like with these young players, 20, 22, 23, they're perfectly placed, aren't they?
I think there's a very solid foundation now in this group of players. They're all young, they all get better, they all learn from European coaches, and the MLS in the United States is growing, is getting better year by year, and they want to showcase that in 3.5 years from now. And they will showcase it, I'm sure about that. But for today, there was not enough quality yet, in the US side to put in danger a Dutch team that was very solid, just comfortable. They were cruising through this game, and every time they knew, maybe we're getting a little bit under pressure, then we gotta score here, and that's what they did.